So was that real ice or fake ice you guys were on? Because it looked like it was the.
It was synthetic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but it was pretty good synthetic. Like, I trained on synthetic because I knew we were going to be on it. So I got on some just to see what it was like. And it was terrible. And I was like, this is going to be, I was concerned about the quality of fights and stuff, right? It's a little bit better when you hang on to each other because you're a little bit twice as stable. But when I got on that synthetic, I was like pretty pleasantly surprised. It was a lot better than any stuff that I've skated on before. It was a lot more slippery, a lot more glide to it. So it wasn't too bad. I think the guys will get used to it and stuff over time as well. But yeah, it was pretty good synthetic.
Okay, as you were talking on that in your first fight against Parker, being the smaller guy, was it hard to stay up? He kind of ragdolling you a bit, but
yeah, he was strong. He was throwing me around a bit. I was still trying to get my bearings and stuff like that. Like, the thing is, like, he's been fighting all year. Like, I don't even think he's stopped fighting. That guy's been playing. He's been playing hockey for I don't know how many years. I don't even know if he took a year off. But I think it just took me a minute to kind of find my balance and just like I say, I had a couple fights this season because I was like, as soon as I found out about Ice Wars, I started playing senior hockey. And then I had a couple fights, but it wasn't enough to get back into the swing of things. So it took me a little bit. He's strong. All those guys are strong. But once I got my footing and felt a little bit more comfortable, like, I don't think he was even really punching me down. I think maybe one time he punched me down, but like most of the times I went down, he was just like pushing me or I slipped or whatever. So, but he definitely won the first round. I'll give him the first round for sure.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering about the ice too, because it looked like it was hard for you to stand up on. Like,
yeah. Well, I'm a pretty strong skater, so I think I was like trying to skate around a bit more than some of the other guys too. Like, those guys were kind of just creeping out and just grabbing on, like trying not to move too much, whereas I was trying to like move around and stuff like that. And yeah, it took me a minute to figure out, but once I got it, I felt pretty good.
Do you go into every fight thinking you're gonna win?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I know I'm gonna win.
Yeah. Okay. So when it came to the judges, were you a little worried or no?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. In that first fight, I came back into my corner after the first round, and my corner is good. I had Ken Lacusta. He fought Larry Holmes, George Foreman, Tommy Morrison. Like, I don't even know how many Hall of Famers this guy fought. He was Mike Tyson's sparring partner. So yeah, I had Ken Lacusta in my corner and Tony Badea. Tony Badea was 2-time Canadian national champ. I think Ken Lacusta was 3-time Canadian champ. And then I had Rob Del Pena. They're all pro boxers, right? So I had pretty high-level guys in my corner, so that helped a lot too. And I came back into my corner, and all of them, they're like, you lost the round. This is after the first round. And I kind of knew that, and I was like, hey, fuck. They're like, you have to win this round. Like, you have no choice but to win this round. If you don't win this round, you're done. Your night's over. You're going home. Yeah. So I knew that. And then when I came out, I thought, like, I was like, you know what? I thought I won the round, but it was a lot closer, I think, than the first round. Like, I could have maybe done 10-8 Parker in the first round and then 10-9 me in the second or something like that. I don't know. Like, it was that close where I was like, fuck. So when we went to the judges, I was a little bit worried because I was like, and especially Parker being the veteran he is, if it was, let's say, so close to being a draw and the judge was going to go one way or the other, in my head, I was like, well, why wouldn't the judge go to Parker instead of me? Because he's the veteran guy. He would deserve it more than me, blah, blah. So the wheels turned a little bit at that point. Once they said it was an extra round, I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I knew I was winning the fight. So
the second fight, what were your feelings on that one? I guess
Tippin's a beauty. He's a good dude. I was talking to him a lot before the fights. I was honestly I felt like after I got through Parker, I had a bit more momentum. I was gassed, obviously. I went into the dressing room, recovered, started to feel better. I got into Tippin. My original plan was I was just going to bang with him. That was pretty much my plan with everybody. Just bang him out and see how it goes. If I have to change something up, I'll change it up. Like, I got lots of different styles, so I'm able to do that. So I came in with Tippin right away, tried to bang with him, and he caught me like immediately off the bat. And I was like, and then I like put my helmet on, like my corner's doing my helmet up. And they're like, stay away from him, create space. Like in boxing, you would kind of jab them and keep them away, jab them, keep them away, right? So I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, well, in boxing, you're going to throw a punch and keep them away. But in hockey fighting, you kind of got to grab on. So I'm thinking, create space. Well, how can I create space in hockey? So I grabbed him and strung him out. I grabbed his inside arm and I kept him away. And then I kind of spun away from him and just was like, that's how I'm going to create space. And I'm just going to exchange with him that way. And then I ended up catching him very like flush right on the nose with a big haymaker. And that was it, done. Yeah. And then the ball was really rolling after that because I knew it was a short. I had lots of time to recover. I felt good. So at that point, you could have put fucking George Laraque in front of me. I didn't care.
Who would win in that fight?
Me.
All right. I had him on the show, actually.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah. The finale, you kicked the guy's ass. I noticed you like to throw the uppercut. Is that your go-to?
No, not really, but it seemed to be effective. It worked well. I'm pretty like creative, and like I said, I can change things up. I got lots of different styles and stuff like that, but it's a punch that I worked on. It's a punch that I continue to work on, but I liked how it worked. I've thrown it lots in hockey and lacrosse. There's like, my whole thing is I like studying fighters. So like, I mean, all those guys that were at the fights that I fought, I've seen fight a bunch of times. Marassi, I've watched every Marassi fight. I've watched all the judges' fights, Wingfield, Mayrand. Like, I study guys, right? And then what I would usually do is if I find a very unique style, something a little bit different, I'll study it, figure out how they're doing it, and then I'll go say back in the day when I was playing hockey or lacrosse, whatever. And then I'd, after practice, grab someone and we'd be kind of messing around and I'd kind of practice these styles. And then maybe the next fight I get into, I would try it and see how it went. And so I've done this over the years for my whole career and been able to sharpen the pencil on a lot of different styles. So that uppercut, actually, I'd give credit. There's a guy named Andrew Suter. I don't know if you know him in lacrosse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think
if you watch Andrew Suter's fights, he throws those creepy uppercuts and they're kind of, he leans back and they come out from under the armpit. Like you can't even see him coming because it kind of pops up under your arm out of nowhere because you're like this and it comes right through here and it's a dangerous shot. And so I would give that credit to him because that was one of the things that I kind of picked up watching him. And it's just a straight, it's not even really like a looping uppercut. Most uppercuts are kind of like a hook, like they hook up, whereas that one's kind of just a straight shot from the hip directly up. And it works pretty well. So it's definitely one of the many tricks I got on my hip for sure.
Yeah. What first thoughts that went through your head when he finally won?
Oh man, it was such a cool feeling because I worked so hard for it. I said I was going to do it. I had it done in my head already. And so it was just like, I was like, finally, I got paid. I got like, not paid money wise, like paid from the universe getting my win. I actually forgot about the money until it was like hours after someone reminded me I won money. But at that point, it was just absolutely happy and I just did what I said I was going to do. I worked my ass off. Everything paid off. I just remember taking my helmet off and just, I was pumped. It was like, it was a crazy, crazy feeling. And it is, yeah, unbelievable.
I was looking at some of your stats there. You had 413 penalty minutes in 2011 for Abby. So that's a pretty good season for fights.
Yeah, well, I remember what happened it was near the end of the year. I think there was a newspaper article that came out in the Maple Ridge Times and it said, Daniel Amesbury, will he get 1,000 penalty minutes or something like that? And I was at like 900, I think I was at like 990, 985 or something like that. And I had 2 games left. So I needed a couple fights. And I played the one game. I ended up getting actually a 10-minute misconduct. The ref threw me out and I got a 10. So then I remember it was my last game of the year. We were going into playoffs. The other team wasn't. We were playing Mission. And I was trying to get this kid that I grew up with to fight me. I was like, man, you got to fight me. Come on, you got to fight me. He was a tough guy. He's a heavyweight. And he's like, oh, my coach said no. My coach said I'm not allowed to fight you because he knew I wanted the 1,000 PIMs. And his coach, he's like, no, nobody's allowed to fight you. Like they told me. And I was like, come on, man. Like, come on, you got to fight me. Come on, you got to fight me. And then finally there's like 10 minutes left in the game. And he comes up and he's like, all right, Ames, let's do it. And I was like, yes.
All right.
So then I was able to get my PIMS, and I think I finished with 1,007 in 3 seasons.
Okay, that's what you were talking about, the 3 seasons, yeah. Combined.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Good.
Yeah.
Who's the best player you ever played with and against?
Fuck.
It could be either sport, I guess.
Best player I played with. I don't know, man. I played with some good players, but I don't know. That's a hard question, man.
Okay. Okay.
I remember I played against who did I think it was, I want to say Pierre Dagenet.
Okay, I remember that name.
Yeah, I played against him. I remember I played against him. Where was he playing? I think he was playing in Akwesasne or something. And something happened. Someone slashed him. And he came out, he said, watch this. He came out next shift and he shelved the puck from center ice. Shelved it. He's like, slash me again. Where everybody's like, don't slash him. He literally just score whenever he wanted.
Who's the toughest fight you've ever had? Like, let's keep it on the ice or lacrosse.
Scott, I would say, sorry, not Scott, Derek Parker, I think, honestly. Yeah, I have to say Parker, man. I got to give that guy the credit, man. That was a war. I've never been in a war like that. Like, I had to dig deep for that fight. So I'd say Parker for sure.
And you did play in the ECHL.
I played in the Central League. So we was right before the ECHL merged with the Central. So it was like the CHL, that ECHL was in 2 basically at that point.
Okay, yeah, because Tucson?
Tulsa Oilers.
Yeah, Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when I looked that up, it was ECHL now.
Yeah, they're in the coast now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so is that league basically what we all assume it is when we get the stories of the Goon movie and you get stories of the slap shot?
The Central League was fuck. So back then, it was like I say, there was 2 AA pro leagues. One was the East Coast and one was the Central. The Central League was 100% the tougher version of the 2. There's a lot tougher guys. It wasn't an NHL affiliated league where the East Coast was. So you actually had a lot of guys that would come down. Like what happened was I got called up into that league during the NHL lockout.
Oh,
so there was during that, since we weren't affiliated with the ECHL or the NHL, there's a lot of guys coming from the NHL that were like, there's a few players that came right into the Central League that were playing. I remember Alex Martinez just won a Stanley Cup and I was playing against him. I think he was playing for Arizona. And, but what came with that was a lot of tough guys coming down the system. You know what I mean? Because any heavyweight in the NHL at the time was on a 2-way contract. So if there's a lockout, they're going down to the A. Yeah. So what does that do with all the AHL tough guys? It sends them down to the Central or the Coast. So that league was like extra tough that year. And I got called up. I think I was 22 or something like that at the time. So I was young, 22 or 23. And I was fighting all these AHL tough guys or whatever. So it was good. It was good experience and whatnot. But it was definitely a lot. You watch the NHL back then, and then you watch the Central League. Like, you get away with a hell of a lot more in our league. You know, you're hacking and slashing, lots of elbows, lots of high hits and stuff like that. And they kind of just let us play. So, which I liked.
Favorite jersey number?
34.
Favorite sports franchise?
I don't have one.
You have a favorite sports movie?
I gotta say Slapshot. It's hilarious.
Okay.
It's a classic.
Okay. And yeah, basically that's the last question. Oh, hang on. I got a couple more here. These ones are just quick response ones. These ones are for fun. So they're favorite cereal.
Fruit Loops.
Favorite Halloween costume.
Oh. I shouldn't say my favorite one that I wore, but
probably as a kid.
Elvis. I dressed up as Elvis. I was rollerblading. I remember killing it on the candy that year because I was on rollerblades.
Okay, oh, that would help. Favorite actor or actress?
Shit. I like, honestly, Samuel L. Jackson. He's pretty legit.
Okay. And if you could go either deep space or deep sea or outer space.
Oh, I'd go outer space for sure.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee,
Cat or dog?
dog,
Okay. If you had to eat pancakes or waffles for the rest of your life, which would you choose?
waffles,
Okay. Friends or Seinfeld?
Seinfeld. No questions.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird,
Big booty or big breasts?
big breast,
Okay. And if you had one superpower, what would it be?
to fly.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So
Why not?
that's all the questions I got for you
Cool.
tonight. The